I've shown this map a few different times, but this is a surface wind map. So the white is just showing the surface winds, and if we're just going to focus in the mid-latitudes and focusing in the northern hemisphere, North America, these low pressures, these mid-latitude cyclonic systems are very easy to see whenever we have those counterclockwise winds that are spinning. And so there's a low pressure mid-latitude cyclonic system. Another one out there, and then see, we're not having no boom, boom, boom. Another one just formed. We got another one there. And so there's another mid-latitude cyclonic system. And so anytime you have these counterclockwise spin in the northern hemisphere, that's a good example of a migrating low-pressure area. Now these in the southern hemisphere go the other way and much easier to see because of less landmass to kind of block up the natural flow. There's another low-pressure center there. Low-pressure center, migratory low-pressure center. So these mid-latitude cyclonic systems are really kickstarting. And see here, we can see two that are relatively close to each other. Now that it's something we see here in this particular map that shows two mid-latitude cyclonic systems that are relatively back-to-back over Europe. So we see the distinctive shape, and they're kind of this distinctive comma shape. So if you kind of think about the shape of a comma, it's got the dot and the tail. So the dot and the tail. And so here we have two mid-latitude cyclonic systems in which the center of the first one is right where this cursor is. How do I know it's the center? Follow the dense cloud belt or rain belt all the way to the center of our low pressure. Same with the second one. So we follow all right around, and that would be the center of the second low pressure center. And so essentially we have our warm front out here, warm air being forced up, but eventually this cold front is going to come through, and with it, it's going to come through. It's going to bring changing wind direction, changing characteristics, and so this is showing water vapor. That's why it's so dry right through here. It's because the cold front has come through and brought with it that higher pressure, colder, drier air from the north. Well, guess what's going to happen? In 1 to 2 days, everything's going to change because we got warm air coming this way with this mid-latitude cyclonic system is going to come through, bring with it warm weather, and then the cold front is going to come through and sweep again. And so these mid-latitude cyclonic systems, once they're identified and are, observed, very easy to predict what's going to happen next. Finally, let's look at the last a particular example of a mid-latitude cyclonic system. This is rare, one just to sit in one particular location. As I'm going to show you here, they migrate. They migrate from west to east here in the northern hemisphere. But this is a peculiar one, an odd one, but nonetheless, it does a good job of showcasing the whole idea of warm air, cold air being forced up. In this case, this low pressure center. So we have that comma shape, that center. You can see where the sucker's spinning around. That would be our low pressure center. Once again, spinning inward and counterclockwise. But what we have as it starts over, warm air being forced up, warm front, all where the hand is, and then eventually the cold air is going to come through and replace that warm air and bring with it clearing skies, which we see behind this particular cold front.